The Australian outback hums under a merciless sun, its eucalyptus forest stretching into a haze of red dust and shimmering heat. It's January 1980, and in the heart of Queensland's rugged bush, the small town of Keddie River pulses with the rhythm of a hardscrabble life. Miners in dusty pubs, kids on dirt bikes, and the endless drone of cicadas. On a sweltering night, 5 young friends, 3 brothers, their mate, and a girl with a laugh like wildfire head into the scrub for a party, their van loaded with beer, their radios blaring AC/DC. Laughter echoes through the trees, campfires flicker, but by dawn, the bush falls silent. Their van sits abandoned, its doors ajar, its engine cold, with no sign of struggle, no trace of the 5. The Keddie River, a sluggish ribbon of muddy water nearby, whispers no answers, its banks holding secrets too dark to fathom. Were they swallowed by the wild, lured by a cult, or hunted by a killer who calls the bush home? The outback keeps its counsel, but its shadows are alive. This is Shadow of Crime, where we tread the darkest paths, unearthing stories that chill the blood, mysteries that cling like dust to the soul. Tonight, we venture into Queensland's untamed heart, to the enigma of the Keddie River vanishing, a case that shattered a town, fueled nightmares of cults and killers, and left 5 souls lost to the bush's embrace. Light a fire against the night. Check the shadows at your door. The outback is calling, and its voice is cold. Welcome to the Shadow of Crime. Part 1. Queensland, 1980. Life in the bush. In January 1980, Australia was a land of raw vitality, its identity forged in the crucible of its vast, unforgiving landscapes. The nation was riding a mining boom, its outback town swollen with workers chasing coal and copper, their paychecks fueling raucous pubs and dusty dreams. Queensland, a sprawling state of tropical coasts and arid interior, was the wild heart of this era, its bush a labyrinth of eucalyptus groves, red dirt tracks, and rivers that snaked through ancient gorges. Life here was tough but free, families in weatherboard shacks, kids fishing in creeks, and communities bound by a mateship born of isolation. The radio crackled with men at work and cold chisel, the air carried the scent of barbecues and diesel, and the sun ruled all, its heat a constant companion in a land that tested resilience. Keddie River, a speck on the map 300 miles west of Brisbane, was a quintessential bush town, its population barely cresting 2,000. Named for the sluggish river that curled through its outskirts, it was a hub for miners and cattle drovers, its main street a strip of corrugated iron shops, a post office, and the Keddie Arms Hotel, where locals swapped yarns over schooners of XXXX. The town's rhythm was set by the mines, their shifts dictating the ebb and flow of life, their dust coating everything from utes to washing lines. Beyond the town, the bush stretched endless, its scrub dotted with route tracks, its silence broken by cockatoos and the distant rumble of road trains. For residents, the bush was both home and adversary, a place of beauty and danger, its vastness a promise of freedom and a threat of oblivion. January was high summer, the air thick with humidity, the ground baking under 40-degree heat. The town was alive with the buzz of post-Christmas revelry, its youth restless, their nights spent cruising dirt roads or partying in the scrub, their campfires a beacon in the dark. For young people, the bush was a playground, its isolation a canvas for adventure, bonfires, beers, and the thrill of being untethered. But whispers of darker things lingered, tales of drifters passing through, of strange lights in the forest, of miners gone missing in the wild. The Keddie River, with its muddy banks and tangled mangroves, held a quiet menace, its waters a mirror for the town's unspoken fears. Into this world stepped 5 friends, their lives woven into Keddie River's fabric, their futures bright but fleeting. The Hill brothers, Jack, Tommy, and Mick, were local legends, their larrikin charm a staple of the town's youth. Their mate, Davo, was a quiet foil, his loyalty fierce, his dreams tied to the land. Sally, the group's spark, was a girl whose laughter could light the bush, her spirit a magnet for trouble and joy. On that fateful night, they piled into a battered Holden van, their cooler stocked, their hearts high, unaware that the bush, with its ancient silence, was about to claim them. leaving a mystery that would haunt Queensland for decades. Part 2. The Five Friends, Portraits of Youth. The five who vanished in Keddie River were more than names in a police report. They were the heartbeat of a town, young souls whose vibrancy left echoes in the bush. Jack Hill, 22, was the eldest brother, a wiry miner with sun-bleached hair and a grin that disarmed even the gruffest publican. Born in Keddie River, he'd followed his father into the mines, his hands calloused, his dreams of owning a cattle station a quiet fire. Jack was the group's leader, his charisma a glue that bound them, his knack for storytelling a fixture at campfires. His Holden van, a rusted beast nicknamed the Beast, was his pride, its panels patched with duct tape, its engine a roar that announced his arrival. Tommy Hill, 20, was the middle brother, a lanky apprentice mechanic with a cheeky streak and a love for AC/DC. His mullet and denim cutoff were pure 1980s, his toolbox a shrine to his trade. Tommy was the joker, his pranks, swapping sugar for salt, hiding mates' boots, a Keddie River legend. But beneath the laughs was a loyal heart, his bond with Jack and Mick unbreakable, their late-night talks under starlit skies a ritual of shared dreams. Tommy dreamed of racing cars, his posters of Bathurst winners taped to his bedroom walls, his future a road he'd yet to travel. Mick Hill, 18, was the youngest, a high school dropout working as a roustabout on a nearby station. Shy but fiercely protective, Mick idolized his brothers, his quiet demeanor hiding a stubborn streak. His love for the bush was deep. He knew its tracks, its birds, its secrets. His evenings spent sketching roosts and gum trees in a battered notebook. Mick was the dreamer, his eyes often lost in the horizon, his heart torn between staying in Keddie River and chasing a bigger world. His brothers were his anchor, their trio of force that shaped the town's youth. David Davo Lawson, 21, was the Hills' mate since primary school, a stocky farmhand with a slow smile and a heart of gold. Raised on a struggling cattle property, Davo was a man of the land, his days spent mending fences, his nights dreaming of a family of his own. Quiet where the hills were loud, he was their balance, his loyalty a steady presence, his drywood a spark in their banter. Davo's love for Sally was an open secret, his glances at her a mix of hope and hesitation, his future tied to hers in ways he dared not voice. Sally Brennan, 19, was the group's wildfire, a barmaid at the Keddie Arms with auburn hair and a laugh that filled rooms. Born in Brisbane but raised in Keddie River, she was a rebel with a tender side. Her denim shorts and a cobra had a town icon. Sally's charm drew crowds, her stories of city dreams, acting, travel, lighting up the pub. Her bond with the Hills and Davo was fierce, their group a sanctuary from the town's gossip, her spirit a beacon in their nights. Sally's laughter, heard across the bush that night, was her last gift to Keddie River, a sound now lost to its silence. Together, they were Keddie River's youth, reckless, loyal, alive. Their van, loaded with dreams and beer, rolled into the bush on January 12, 1980, their campfire a flare in the dark. They could not know that the scrub, with its tangled roots and hidden eyes, would claim them, their laughter silenced, their story a wound that would never heal. Part 3. The Last Night, a Party in the Bush. The night of January 12, 1980, was a scorcher in Keddie River, the air heavy with heat and the promise of a storm. The town was quiet, its residents indoors, their fans whirring against the humidity, their radios tuned to cricket or countdown. For the youth, though, the bush was calling, its isolation a magnet for parties where rules didn't reach. The Hill brothers, Davo, and Sally had planned a night in the scrub, a tradition born of restless summers. Load the van, crank the tunes, and let the campfire burn till dawn. Their spot, a clearing 5 miles out on Blackwater Track, was a favorite, a flat patch by the Keddie River, its banks shaded by gums, its silence broken only by roosts and the crackle of flames. Jack's Holden van, the Beast, rumbled out of town around 6 p.m., its tray loaded with a cooler of XXXX, a cassette deck blaring Highway to Hell, and 5 friends high on life. Jack drove, his arm out the window, his grin wide as he traded barbs with Tommy, who sprawled in the passenger seat, his boots on the dash. Mick sat in the back, sketching in his notebook, his quiet smile a contrast to Davo's booming laugh as he teased Sally about her latest pub story. Sally, perched on a crate, sang along to Bon Scott, her akubra tilted, her eyes catching Davo's in the rear view, a spark of something unspoken. The van's headlights carved through the dusk, its dust trail a comet in the bush, its passengers unaware of the darkness waiting. At the clearing, they set up camp with practiced ease. Jack built a fire, its flames licking the night, while Tommy rigged a tarp for shade, his jokes drawing laughs. Mick gathered wood, his torch bobbing in the scrub, his love for the bush a quiet pride. Davo cracked beers, his hands steady, his glances at Sally soft but hopeful. Sally, the heart of the night, danced to the radio, her silhouette a flicker against the gums, her laughter a melody that carried across the river. Witnesses, kids at a nearby camp, later recalled their voices, their fire aglow in the distance, their party a slice of Keddie River's summer, alive and untouchable. As midnight neared, the air cooled, the cicadas fell silent, and a storm's rumble echoed from the west. The group was last seen around 1 a.m., their fire low, their voices softer, their van parked under a ghost gum. A drover, passing on Blackwater Track, noted their headlights off, their camp quiet, but thought nothing of it. Bush parties often burned till dawn. By 3 a.m., when a light rain fell, the clearing was empty, the fire cold, the van's doors ajar, its keys in the ignition. The Keddie River flowed nearby, its waters dark, its banks untouched by footprints or blood. The five were gone, their laughter silenced, their night a prelude to a mystery that would grip Queensland, its truth buried in the bush's unyielding heart. Part 4. The Vanishing. An empty clearing. Dawn broke over Keddie River on January 13, 1980, the sky a bruised purple as the storm's tail swept east. The bush was still, its eucalyptus leaves dripping, its red dirt softened by rain. At the Blackwater Track clearing, Jack Hill's Holden van stood alone, its blue paint dulled by dust, its doors open, its engine cold. The campfire was a pile of sodden ash, the tarp sagging, the cooler tipped over, its beers scattered but unopened. The scene was eerie in its normalcy, no blood, no tire marks, no signs of a fight, only an absence that screamed wrongness. The van's keys dangled in the ignition, Sally's akubra hung on a branch, Mick's notebook lay open to a half-finished sketch of a roux, its pages damp but intact. The discovery came at 7 a.m., when a cattleman, checking fences, spotted the van and stopped, his gut telling him something was off. He called the Keddie River Police, a small station with 3 officers, their radios crackling as they rolled out in a dusty Land Rover. Constable Brian Walsh, a grizzled local, surveyed the scene, his notebook filling with details, no footprints beyond the camp, no drag marks, no weapons. The van's fuel tank was half full, its battery lit, its interior untouched save for a spilled beer can and Tommy's denim jacket on the seat. Walsh's unease grew. The bush was vast, but 5 people didn't vanish without a trace, not in a town where everyone knew everyone. By noon, the Hill family, parents Frank and Maureen, arrived, their faces pale as they stared at the van, their voices breaking as they called their sons' names. Davo's father, a stoic farmer, joined them, his hands trembling as he touched the cooler, his eyes scanning the scrub. Sally's mother, a nurse, clutched her daughter's akubra, her sobs echoing in the clearing. The police taped off the site, their search fanning out, their torches probing the gums and riverbanks. Locals gathered, their youths lining the track, their murmurs of cults and drifters a dark undercurrent. The Keddie River, sluggish and brown, offered no clues, its mangroves a tangle of shadows, its waters a mirror for the town's growing dread. As the day wore on, the search intensified, but the bush yielded nothing. No footprints, no clothing, no blood. The rain had erased tracks, the scrub's density mocked their efforts, the heat drained their hope. Walsh radioed Brisbane for help, his voice tight, his report a plea for resources. The van, towed to the station, was a silent witness, its contents bagged as evidence, its presence a wound in the town's heart. The 5, Jack, Tommy, Mick, Davo, and Sally, were gone, their absence a void that swallowed Keddie River, their story a mystery that began in a clearing and stretched into the outback's endless dark. Part 5. The Search, a town in the bush. The disappearance of the Keddie River 5 sparked a search that consumed the town, its scale a testament to a community's love and fear. By January 14, 1980, the Blackwater Track clearing was a hive of activity, its red dirt churned by boots, its air thick with dust and desperation. The Keddie River Police, outmatched by the bush's vastness, called in Queensland's state force, their land cruisers rolling in from Mount Isa and Townsville. Detectives, in sweat-stained shirts, set up a command post at the Keddie Arms, its bar now a map-strewn war room, its patrons silent as they watched the law move in. The Royal Australian Air Force lent a helicopter, its blades thumping over the scrub, its spotlight a futile stab at the dark. Locals joined in droves, their utes and motorbikes fanning out, their voices shouting the names, Jack, Tommy, Mick, Davo, Sally, until hoarse. Miners took leave, their picks swapped for torches, their knowledge of the bush a guide through gullies and ridges. Cattlemen rode horses into thickets, their dogs sniffing for scent, their eyes scanning for a glint of metal or cloth. Women cooked for the searchers, their trestle tables laden with damper and tea, their prayers a quiet hum in the heat. The Hill family led the charge, Frank's face carved with grief, Maureen's hands clutching rosaries, their hope a fragile flame. Davo's father scoured the river, his boots sinking in mud, his silence a shield against despair. Sally's mother stayed at the clearing, her eyes fixed on the van, her heart refusing to let go. The bush, though, was a formidable foe. Its eucalyptus forests, dense with underbrush, hid trails and swallowed sound, its heat-sapping strength, its wildlife, snakes, dingoes adding menace. The Keddie River's banks, tangled with mangroves, defied divers, their waters murky, their currents treacherous. Searchers found nothing, no footprints, no camp debris, no signs of a struggle. A tracker, an indigenous elder named Jimmy Warabinda, studied the clearing, his eyes tracing the dirt, but the rain had done its work, its erasure a taunt to their efforts. He spoke of the bush's spirits, its ability to hide what it claimed, his words chilling the town's hope. By week's end, the search scaled back, its volunteers exhausted, its leads dry. Brisbane sent forensic experts, their gloved hands probing the van, their tests finding no blood, no prints beyond the fives. The media descended, their vans clogging the track, their headlines Bush Swallows 5 fueling fear. Rumors spread, a cult in the hills, a drifter seen in town, a drug deal gone wrong. The police, under pressure, vowed to continue, but the bush's silence was deafening, its vastness a mirror for their failure. The Keddie River flowed on, its waters a shroud over a mystery that grew darker with each passing day, its banks a stage for a town's grief and a case that refused to yield. Part 6. Witnesses and Whispers. As the search for the Keddie River 5 faltered, the town turned to its own, their memories a patchwork of clues and shadows. The police, led by Detective Sergeant Colin Hayes from Brisbane, canvassed Keddie River, their notebooks filling with accounts from miners, barmaids, and kids, each one a fragment of that fateful night. The witnesses, though few, painted a vivid picture of the group's final hours, their stories laced with details that both clarified and confused, their words a lifeline in a case drowning in silence. The bush, with its hidden eyes, seemed to watch, its whispers fueling a town's fear and fascination. The most solid accounts came from the Keddie Arms, where the 5 had stopped before heading out. The publican, Mick O'Connell, recalled them around 5 p.m., their laughter filling the bar, their rounds of XXXX a warm-up for the night. Jack bought a slab, his grin wide, while Sally flirted with a miner, her cobra tilted. Tommy teased Mick about a darts game, Davo nursed a beer, and young Mick sketched on a napkin, his eyes on the jukebox. O'Connell noted a stranger, a wiry man in a flannel shirt, his face weathered, his accent vague, watching them from a corner, his beer untouched. The man left before the group, his Uta's taillights fading up the track, but his presence lingered in O'Connell's memory, a detail he shared only after the vanishing. Kids at a nearby camp, a mile from Blackwater Track, offered more. 2 brothers, fishing by the river, saw the van's headlights around 7 p.m., its music loud, its dust trail glowing in the dusk. Later, around 11 p.m., they heard laughter and Sally's voice, her rendition of You Shook Me All Night Long carrying over the scrub. By 1 a.m., their fire was low, their voices quiet, but a strange sound, A low hum, like an engine, caught the boys' ears, its source hidden by the gums. They thought nothing of it, their own campfire fading, but the hum haunted them when news broke, a clue they couldn't place. Darker whispers came from the fringes. A drover, camped near the track, saw a fire in the hills around 2 a.m., its glow unnatural, its location too remote for a party. He spoke of weird types in the bush, drifters, cult rumors, men who shunned the town. A barmaid, working late, recalled a man in a Utah asking about the hill boys days before, his eyes cold, his questions sharp. These accounts, though vague, fed the town's fears, their details twisted in retelling, their truth buried in gossip. The police chased each lead, their utes bouncing up tracks, their questions met with shrugs or silence, the bush's secrets locked tight. The witnesses, with their half-remembered faces and fleeting sounds, offered glimpses of that night, but no map to the five, their voices a chorus in a mystery that grew ever darker. Part 7. Theories of the Vanishing. As weeks turned to months, the absence of the Keddie River Five gave rise to theories that veered from plausible to fantastical, each one a desperate bid to explain a mystery that defied logic. The police, hamstrung by the bush's vastness, faced pressure from Brisbane, their press conferences a litany of no new leads. The town, gripped by grief and fear, filled the void with speculation, their pubs and kitchens a stage for tales of cults, killers, and conspiracies. The van's eerie normalcy, no blood, no struggle, only deepened the enigma, its open doors a canvas for nightmares, its silence a challenge to reason. Theory 1. The cult hypothesis. The most chilling notion pointed to a satanic cult rumored to haunt Queensland's interior. In the 1980s, Australia was swept by cult panic, its media stoking fears of rituals in the bush. Witnesses spoke of strange fires in the hills, of drifters chanting near Keddie rocks, a remote site linked to old mining lore. The five, lured to a secret gathering or stumbling on one, might have been victims, their bodies hidden in caves or burned in rites. The stranger in the pub, his flannel shirt and cold gaze, became a cult leader in myth, his Uda a chariot of doom. But no physical evidence, no altars, no robes, supported this, and police raids on ridge hideouts found only abandoned camps, the theory a product of fear more than fact. Theory 2. A serial killer's hunt. The bush's isolation made it a perfect hunting ground, and some believed a killer targeted the group. Queensland had its share of predators. Ivan Milat's crimes later echoed this fear, and Keddie's transient miners raised suspicion. The man asking about the hill boys, the drover's hum, suggested a predator stalking the five, their van a trap. The lack of struggle hinted at a swift attack, drugs, or a ruse, or a weapon. Yet, no known killer matched, no body surfaced, and the bush's vastness hid any trail, the theory a grim possibility without proof. Theory 3. A drug deal gone wrong. Keddie's mining boom brought drugs. Marijuana plots and amphetamines thrived in the scrub, and some whispered the five were entangled. The five could have been the suppliers for the drug trade, their party a cover, their van hit by dealers or rivals. The open doors and no signs of a fight suggested a quick execution, their bodies dumped in a shaft or river. But the five's clean records and the absence of drugs in the van clashed with this, their lives too ordinary for such stakes. Still, the theory lingered, fed by the town's distrust of outsiders. Theory 4. Lost in the bush. A simpler idea held that the five wandered off, drunk, disoriented, or fleeing, and succumbed to the bush's dangers. Heat stroke, snakes, or a fall in the river could claim them, their tracks erased by rain. Mixed knowledge of the bush, though, made his skills a shield against such a mishap. The van's keys, left behind, and Sally's hat, undisturbed, argued for something sudden, not a lost trek, the theory too tidy for the case's eerie edges. Each theory was a piece of Keddie River's pain, a story to tame the unknown. The police, led by Hayes, chased them all, their land cruisers scouring caves and interviewing drifters, their efforts a promise to the families. The bush, with its tangled roots and silent rivers, held the truth, its shadows a challenge to those who sought the five, their absence a wound that burned in Queensland's heart. Part 8. The 1981 find, bones in the bush. For over a year, The Keddie River vanishing was a ghost in Queensland's memory. Its case a file of dead ends in the Brisbane Police Archives. Then, on March 20th, 1987, a chilling clue emerged, a discovery that shattered the town's fragile peace and deepened the mystery. A prospector, fossicking near an abandoned mine shaft 15 miles from Blackwater Track, stumbled on human remains, a partial skeleton, its skull fractured, its bones bleached by sun and time. Beside it, tangled in roots, was a rusted pocket knife, its blade etched with JH, initials that could mean Jack Hill. The find, reported to police. Police sent a shockwaves through Keddie River, their radios buzzing as detectives rushed to the site, their shovels unearthing a truth too grim to bear. The bones, sent to a forensic lab in Brisbane, were a puzzle that only deepened the enigma. Experts confirmed they were human, likely a male, aged in his 20s, with a death dating to roughly 1980. The skull's fracture suggested a violent blow, a rock or weapon, but no cause was certain, the bones too degraded for DNA or prints in that era. The knife, a miner's tool, bore Jack's initials, a relic his family recognized, their tears falling as they held it, their hope and horror intertwined. But no other clues, no clothing, no wallet, no trace of the other four, emerged, the shaft a lone grave with no map to the rest. The site, near Keddie Rocks, was combed, its caves and gullies searched, but only dust and silence answered, the bush's secrets locked tight. The find reignited the case, its headlines Keddie Horror, bones found, drawing media from Sydney to Cairns, their flashes a harsh light on a town that wanted to forget. The police, under Detective Hayes, launched a new dig, their team scouring a 10-mile radius, their diverse probing nearby creeks, their hope pinned to another find. Locals whispered of the cult again, the shaft a ritual site, the knife a sacrifice, but no altars or signs emerged, their fears ungrounded. Others saw a killer's work, the fracture a clue to a murder, the knife dropped in haste, but no suspects matched, the trail cold. The drug theory resurfaced, the shaft a dump for a deal gone sour, but no stashes or tracks supported it. For the families, the bones were a wound reopened, a proof that the bush had claimed at least one life, yet no closure for the others. Frank and Maureen Hill, aged by grief, saw Jack's ghost in the knife, their prayers a plea for their other sons. Davo's father stared into the shaft, his silence a scream for his son, his heart broken. Sally's mother, clutching her daughter's photo, refused to believe she was there, but her hope fading, a candle in the wind. The bones, laid to rest in a quiet ceremony, were a spark in a case gone dark, a reminder that the Keddie River Five were out there, their story a fragment in a mystery that refused to fade, a truth buried in Queensland's wild heart. Part 9. Suspects, Shadows in the Bush. The 1980s bone find turned the Keddie River case into a hunt for suspects, their faces a parade of shadows in a town gripped by fear. The Queensland Police, led by Detective Hayes, who's combed their files, their leads thin, their net was wide, castaways, locals, myths, each one a potential key to the Five's fate, each a dead end in the bush's maze. The absence of evidence, no prints, no weapons beyond the knife, no prints, made the suspects a mirage, their stories a mix of rumor, chance, and dread, their truth buried in Keddie's silence. Billy Red Thompson, a 35-year-old drifter, was the first to draw eyes, a loner seen in Keddie River days before January 1980. A former miner with a record for brawls, he was the flannel man in the Keddie Arms, his cold stare at the Five a memory that burned. Izuda, a spotted, on Blackwater Track, vanished after the night, his whereabouts a vague, some said he'd gone west to the territory, others to a mine in WA. Police tracked him down in 1982 to Alice Springs, his denial sharp, his alibi a mate's vague word. But no evidence, his knife didn't match, Izuda clean, tied him, his shadow a town myth that lingered. The Kedrock Boys, a loose crew of miners rumored to dabble in occult drugs, were next, their whispers fueling the cult theory. Led by a man named Carl, a 40-year-old with scars and a Bible, they camped near Keddie Rocks, their fires seen in the hills. Locals spoke of a chanting, of blood rites, but a 1981 raid on their site found only a beer cans and a spray paint, no altars or bones. Carl laughed off rumors, his eyes hard. His men claimed they'd been in Mount Isa that night, their alibi unchecked, their story a ghost in the case. Marty Klein, a cattleman with a grudge against the hills, was a darker lead, a man whose name whispered in pubs with fear. A 38-year-old with a feud over a land with Frank Hill, he'd been seen arguing with Jack weeks prior, his threats heard in the Keddie Arms, overheard by a barmaid. His property, 20 miles from the track, was searched, his sheds and wells probed, but nothing, no bodies, no blood, emerged, his denial a snarl, his silence a dead end. The unknown man, the Utah driver asking about the Hill Boys, was a phantom, a figure, a man whose face no one recalled, his voice a void in memory. The drover's hum, the drover's fire in the hills, became his, a killer, a cult, a dealer, his myth a canvas for fear, his trail a nothing. The suspects were a mirror to Keddie River's dread, their stories a town's attempt to name its monster, their faces a blur in a case of shadows. For Hayes, the hunt was a weight, each lead a badge of failure, each dead end a wound. The bush, with its silence, held their truth, its secrets a lock, its shadows a challenge to a town that refused to forget. Part 10. The Family's Fight. The Keddie River vanishing transformed the Hill, Lawson, and Brennan families into warriors, their lives consumed by a quest for a truth that spanned decades. Frank and Maureen, a once robust miners and homemakers, became advocates, their weatherboard home a command center of photos, maps, and news clippings. Their kitchen, where Jack once teased Tommy, was a war room, its table buried under flyers with the Five's faces, their smiles frozen, their eyes a plea. Davo's father, Tom, a farmer, joined them, his cattle untended, his night scouring the bush, his silence a shield for grief. Sally's mother, Ellen, a nurse, kept her daughter's room a shrine, her akubra on the bed, her prayers a ritual of hope. Their fight began at the clearing, their voices raw as they called for their kids, their hands tearing at scrub. The police's inaction, limited by resources, slowed by the bush, pushed them to act, their utes patrolling tracks, their torches flashing in caves. They canvassed Keddie River, their flyers on every shop, their questions in every pub. Had anyone seen the stranger? Heard the hum? Brisbane media, TV, radio, papers picked their story, their faces raw on screens, their pleas a spark for tips, sightings in Darwin, a knife in a pawn shop, cruel hoaxes that tested their strength. They built a memorial, a stone by the river, its plaque etched with names, its candles a vigil that drew the town. The 1981 bones were a turning point, a knife that cut their hope but steeled their resolve. Frank and Maureen, holding Jack's knife, searched Keddie rocks, their boots sinking in dust, their eyes scanning for Tommy or Mick. Tom drove to creeks, his hands probing mud, his heart seeking Davo. Ellen Chase leads to Brisbane, her cult fears dismissed, her voice fears for Sally. They lobbied police, their letters to Queensland's premier a plea for funds, their protest a spark for a 1983 task force, its scope too small, its results nil. Their savings drained, their lives paused, their love for the Five burned bright, their bond of fire against the bush's dark. The toll was heavy. Frank's heart weakened, his nights sleepless, his eyes on Jack's photo. Maureen's laughter faded, her garden wild, her faith shaken. Tom grew old, his farm silent, his dreams buried. Ellen, nursing others, hid her pain, her akubra a badge of fight. Their vigil kept the case alive, their story a wound in Queensland, their hope a defiance of the bush's silence. The Keddie River, with its muddy flow, was their battleground, its banks a call to find their kids, to unravel a mystery that defined their lives. Part 11. The case in 2025, a lingering wound. In 2025, the Keddie River vanishing remains a scar on Queensland's soul, its mystery as vivid as in 1980. The town, now a quiet hub for ecotourism, has changed, its minds slowed, its pubs modernized, but the Five shadow lingers, their names a whisper in its streets. The Blackwater track clearing, overgrown but marked by a memorial stone, draws sleuths and mourners, its riverbanks combed by dreamers with metal detectors, its gums a silent witness. The Queensland Police, who shelved the case in 1990, keep it active in name, their Brisbane archives a digital vault of tips, photos, and dead ends. The case, though cold, lives in Australia's true crime scene, its story retold in podcasts, docos, and Reddit, a flame that calls to new seekers. The families, aged by time, endure. Frank, in his 80s, walks with a cane, his voice soft as he speaks at vigils, his hands clutching Jack's knife. Maureen, frail but fierce, tends the memorial, its flowers a tribute to her boys, her prayers a ritual. Tom, retired, scans the bush, his eyes seeking Davo, his silence a weight. Ellen, now a grandmother, keeps Sally's a cobra. Her advocacy is spark for reforms, better bush searches, DNA loss. Their homes, lined with photos, are shrines, their guest books online filled with hope and sorrow. They mark January 13th each year, their candles glowing by the river, their love a defiance of time. The police archive grows, its DNA tests on the 1981 bones, rerun in 2015, inconclusive, its knife a relic in a vault. Advances, drones, ground radar prompt digs, but a 2022 search near Keddie Rocks found only animal bones, a false lead in a case of mirages. Tips persist, a cult in the territory, a confession in a Cairns pub, but fade, their truth elusive. The media, from 60 Minutes to Netflix, retell the tale, their lenses on the clearing, their questions unanswered. Keddie River's locals, from old miners to new baristas, carry the story, their pubs hosting 5 nights, their tales blending fact and myth. The case's allure endures, its mystery a magnet for sleuths. Online forums dissect the knife, the hum, the cult rumors, their debates a ritual. Some believe the 5 live, hidden in a commune, their Vanarus. Others see a killer's work, the bones a clue to a predator still free. The families embrace all theories, their hope a thread, their resolve a fire. The Keddie River flows on, its banks a canvas for their vigil, its waters a call to remember 5 souls lost to the bush's heart, a mystery that refuses to fade. Part 12. An enigma in the outback. The Keddie River vanishing is more than a case. It is a requiem for youth, a saga of a town's love, a challenge to a world that seeks answers. Jack, Tommy, Mick, Davo, and Sally, with their laughter and dreams, are not just names on a memorial. They are symbols, mirrors of our fears of the wild, our hopes for redemption, our questions about the darkness in the brightest places. Their disappearance in Queensland's bush, on a night of fire and song, is a wound that never healed, a puzzle that has defied decades of searching, a shadow that stretches across the outback to touch every heart that hears their tale. What happened that night? Did the 5 wander into the scrub, lost to heat or river, their tracks erased by rain, their bodies claimed by the bush? Did a cult, hidden in the hills, lure them to a ritual, their bones scattered in caves, there been a stage for horror? Was a killer stalking Blackwater Track, his blade swift, his Uda a ghost that carried them to a shaft? Do the 1981 bones prove Jack's fate, a clue to a murder that took them all, or are the others out there, alive in a world that forgot them? Was the hum a machine, a trap, or a myth born of fear? The questions burn, each one a thorn, each answer a shadow that slips away. For the families, this enigma is their life's core. Frank and Maureen, with their weathered hands and candlelit vigils, Tom, with his silent searches, Ellen, with her akubra and fierce voice. They carry the 5 in every breath, their fight a testament to love's endurance. Their Keddie River homes, with photos and prayers, are sanctuaries, where the 5 are forever young, their laughter echoing in dreams. Their advocacy, through media, memorials, reforms, keeps their names alive, their hope a defiance of the bush's silence, their resolve a beacon for others lost to mystery. For Australia, the case is a reckoning, a reminder that the outback hides horrors, that safety is a myth in its wilds. The Keddie River, with its muddy flow and tangled banks, is a palimpsest, its beauty overlaid with ghosts. The case challenges our assumptions about trust, about community, about the power of memory to keep the lost alive. It asks us to look deeper, to question the silence, to listen to the whispers of those who vanish. Will the truth emerge? Perhaps a drone will spot a shaft, its depths holding bones, or a confession will rise from a pub's shadows. Perhaps DNA will name the 1981 skeleton, or a hiker will find Sally's akubra in a gully. Or perhaps the 5 will remain an enigma, their fate sealed in the bush, their story a flame that burns in Queensland's heart. They are not gone. They are the flicker in Keddie River's lights, the whisper in the gums, the weight in every heart that pauses at their names. The Keddie River 5 are the heartbeat of a mystery that refuses to rest, a legacy that endures, a shadow that will not fade. The Keddie River winds through Queensland's bush, its waters cloaked in dusk, its banks hiding secrets that refuse to yield. The Holden van is gone, its campfire cold, but the echoes of Jack, Tommy, Mick, Davo, and Sally linger, their laughter a flare that burns through time. Their shadow dances in the scrub, their names whisper in the wind, their mystery a riddle that haunts the night. Were they taken by the wild, a cult, or a killer's hand? The outback keeps its truth, but we listen, our hearts tuned to the silence of five souls lost. You've walked these dark trails with shadow of crime, where every story is a puzzle, every truth a fight. If the Keddie River enigma has gripped your soul, if their absence haunts your thoughts, don't turn away. Subscribe to our channel to join us in chasing new mysteries, where the lost find a voice in the dust. Drop a like if their story moved you, if it left you staring into the bush. Leave a comment. Share your theories, tell us what chilled you, or name the cases you want us to unravel next. Hit that bell, for in the outback, every clue counts. Share this tale with those brave enough to face the shadows, to seek the truth beneath the gums. Shadow of Crime is more than a podcast. It's a vow to honor the vanished, to confront the darkness, to chase the light no matter how faint. Until we meet again, keep your eyes on the horizon, your ears sharp, and your courage ready for the stories that live in the shadow of crime.